What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video today, and in this video we are at Sioux Falls Regional Airport for the 30th airport update for the month of August 2022. Got some retro vibes going here and some big changes are coming up. I will talk more about that at the end of the video. Without further ado, let's go ahead and hop in, and we'll start off at gate number 1 with this Delta Airbus A319. This aircraft arrived in on a service from Minneapolis, flight 2713, at 1:13 a.m. Saturday morning. Very delayed from its scheduled 11:55 p.m. arrival from the prior day. All flights in this airport update are from Friday, August 5th, with one exception, which we'll get into here in a little bit. So I was checking the flight schedule for Thursday, August 4th, so the day prior for the day that I'm using the airport updates from, and I saw that both the Delta mainline flights, both of them A319s, one from Minneapolis, one from Atlanta, both of those flights were canceled, and there was a pair of United flights as well that were also delayed by like an hour or so each. So there was obviously some type of segments or some other stuff going on that was really hindering operations, and I'm not sure what was going on with Delta. So there's been quite a lot of issues going on in the aviation industry with a lot of crew shortages and a lot of cancellations. So obviously that is causing a lot of issues. So unfortunately that seems to be the case now, but yeah, hopefully we get less cancellations in the future and we can have more on-time flights. So that's all I have for this aircraft. Let us move on. At Gate 3, we have this Allegiant Airbus A319. This aircraft arrived in on a service from Las Vegas, Flight 70, at 10:53 a.m., ahead of a scheduled 10:55 a.m. arrival. Haven't heard too much about Allegiant starting any new services or anything in particular. Hopefully they do get some new services in soon, because I'd like to see some more destinations be served out of Sioux Falls, because I think we're kind of a nice like secondary market, if you will. Another big airline that I do want to see come to Sioux Falls is Breeze, because their main focus for their destinations is that they serve a lot of those underserved secondary markets, and I think Sioux Falls fits that bill perfectly. So I hope that Breeze does start service to Sioux Falls at some point, or does start to express interest at the very least, because I know they've expressed interest starting service to Rapid City on the opposite side of the state. So hopefully that does bring them over to Sioux Falls maybe in the future. But regardless, I'm happy with where the airport's at, and hopefully we still get to add some new destinations and some new airlines all along the way. Retro vibes are in full force. This American Eagle Embraer 170. Now, this flight is from July 31st. However, I could not resist to put this in the airport update because we've actually been getting this aircraft on a couple of occasions now. Unfortunately, I've not gone out to the airport to see it because it arrives in quite late and it departs very early in the morning. So I could, get up early or get up to the airport late to catch its arrival, but I'm not really much of an early morning person, so I don't know. Maybe I'll do it in the future if these continue to still fly here, but these Envoy 170s are going to become more common as the 145s are being transferred over to Piedmont Air, so I'm thinking that probably within the next 5 years, I think Envoy is going to become an exclusive operator for the Embraer 170, so that's the only plane that they're going to operate, and the 175s as well. I can't forget those. So they kind of flip-flop between the 175 and the 170. As of late, we've been getting the 170 a little bit more often, so that's good. Increases our chances of getting this Embraer 170 here in Sioux Falls. But this aircraft arrived in at 10:32 p.m., delayed from a 10:09 p.m. scheduled arrival on flight 3505. United mainline action sitting here at Gate 7 with this United 737-800 in the Continental Globe livery. Nice to see these 738s coming in every now and then. They always swap between the 737s and the A320s. But this aircraft arrived in on flight 324 from Denver, which is our very typical Denver mainline flight, so no big changes here. This arrived in at 10:05 p.m., delayed from a 9:30 p.m. scheduled arrival. There's a 35-minute delay for this aircraft. Nice CRJ lineup here at Gate 6 and 4, and here is where I would have a Delta Connection Embraer 175. If I had one, but of course, someone has not made it yet in 1/400 scale, and I don't want to go out of my way to make a custom of it, so I'm going to need Gemini Jets to make one of these pronto, and if they don't, I'm not going to be too happy. They didn't do one for the July-August set, but I'm hoping this comes out soon, because for the love of God, I would like to see that be released, and I will not stop talking about this in my videos whenever it's an applicable scenario. So if I need a Delta Connection Embraer 175 for an airport update, I'm going to mention, hey, I want this to be made. So this is where it would normally sit, right here at Gate 2, but because it's not been made, I can't feature it. So again, I'm sorry, but there's nothing I can do. I could use my Embraer 170, but that's not really realistic, so whatever. We're just going to continue with the airport update, and we'll move over here to gate number 6, with this United Express CRJ200 in the Continental Globe livery. This aircraft arrived in from Chicago O'Hare on Flight 3979. This is an Air Wisconsin operated flight, so nice little shake up here. Arriving in at 2:30 p.m., ahead of a scheduled 2:38 p.m. arrival. At gate number 4, we had this Delta Connection CRJ200. This aircraft arrived in on a service from Minneapolis, Flight 5468. This is operated by Endeavor Air. This arrived in at 10:14 a.m., a little bit delayed from a 10:12 a.m. scheduled arrival. That is all the planes we have here at the terminal building. So we got one more plane to look at, which is right down here, with this United Airbus A319 in the Evo Blue livery. This aircraft departed on Flight 2291 on a service to Denver at 6:28 a.m., delayed from a 6:17 a.m. scheduled departure time. And this is the same flight that would come in the evening. But as you can see here, there's different aircraft types, so I figured I'd include both of these flights. So that's kind of how we're doing things around here. But that is everything we have here at the entire passenger area. I am bringing back the cargo area for this update because there is an interesting flight. I figured I would feature it and bring back the usual cargo lineup. So let's head over there and let's check it out. Feels so good to be back here at the cargo area of the Sioux Falls Regional Airport. I have omitted this from my airport updates because usually it's just the same thing. No major changes have happened here with the cargo stuff for like the last several years. But every now and then we do get a random cargo flight just from a random city. So these tend to come in every now and then. But we'll start off over here towards the top right of your screen with this FedEx Airbus A300, our very usual Flight 735 from Memphis, arriving in at 6:54 p.m., delayed from a 5:40 p.m. scheduled arrival. So no big changes here with this flight. Seems to be more often with an A300 than anything. Sometimes they'll use a 757, but I've seen A300s come in a little bit more often. Pop over here with this UPS 757-200 on the unique service from Pittsburgh, Flight 9311. This arrived in at 8:03 p.m., around the 8:02 p.m. scheduled arrival time, so just only behind by 1 full minute. So every now and then we usually get these random like point-to-point cargo flights. Sometimes we get them to like Denver, Fargo I've seen a few times as well, Kansas City I've seen in the past. And I'm trying to think what else. That's all I can really think of on my mind right now. But yeah, this Pittsburgh flight is a bit new as far as I know. Obviously I don't expect this to become a regular service. It's probably just one of those random point-to-point cargo flights, as I'm going to call them here, or that's what I'm going to refer to them as I like to say, in this update. So that's all we have here, but there's all the cargo stuff, the GSC equipment and everything, just kind of roaming around the cargo area. And then finally, to conclude this update, sorry about the camera there, we have this Fedex ATR72. So this arrived in on a service from Rapid City, Flight 7584, operated by Empire Airlines. Arrived in at 8:32 p.m., ahead of a scheduled 8:46 p.m. arrival. And one last thing to mention before I conclude this update. Yes, I do plan on getting some GA aircraft from Shapeways, which will include some Cessna 208 Caravans, maybe some Beechcraft King Airs, some Beech 1900s, and just some other similar general aviation planes that like to operate as a cargo aircraft, which usually like to park here as far as I'm aware. And I think they also like to park in some other areas, but I think I could probably put a few right there. So hopefully I'll plan on getting some for Christmas, and we'll see how that goes. So that'll do it for this update. We'll flip back over to the passenger terminal and I will discuss some of the big changes coming. So, you may have heard me tease a little bit about college in the past, and obviously that does mean I will be going to college this fall. My college is actually not far away from home. It'd probably be about like maybe a little under an hour or so commute every day. If I wish to go back home on the weekends, not every day, but just like on the weekends. But hopefully that is kind of my plan as of right now. I would like to come back home on the weekends. Now there will be some weekends where I may not be able to come back home for various reasons, whether it be I'm busy or I'm doing something on the campus, whether it be with friends or attending a sporting event or something of that nature, because I do tend on doing that every now and then. So, what will this mean for regular content on the channel? As far as I know, I'm not entirely sure how that's going to affect it. There might be some instances where some airport updates may not happen, and in that case I will provide regular updates on my Instagram page. Link to that is in the description. I'll always post on my story if a particular airport update is going to be postponed for any reason, whether it be I'm busy or if something else comes up and I don't have time to come back home and film it. And even if I do come back home and if something does come up, then I'll be sure to communicate that with you guys. So I'm looking forward to this next chapter in my life. It is a little bit nerve-wracking for me, since it is an entirely different thing for me than for me than what it has been for the last 18 years of my life at this point. Been doing this channel for over 5 years at this point, which is crazy to think. I want to thank everybody who has stuck around to the channel and has shown all your support. I greatly appreciate it. And it's been fun doing these airport updates, but I do intend to continue these through college. As long as I'm not too busy and I have, some free time, especially during this freshman year of college, I do hope that I do have some free time to do at least some airport updates during the school year. So, run from around the end of August up until the end of May. So hopefully I will find time to record airport updates, get them all put together, and make sure that you guys still have content to enjoy whilst I'm away in college. Now, I will try to pre-record some airport updates ahead of time, so like I may record, so let's say I want to do a random model airport update, but on that particular weekend where I would be home, because usually I like to record the airport updates the weekend before they are set to come out. So like, I'll have the Joe Foss update come out on the second, but right before the second weekend, and then I'll film the random model airport update usually on that weekend after the Joe Foss update comes out. It's a little bit hard for me to kind of describe in words. Maybe some more visual descriptions on the screen would help, but I'm not really sure how to put that together, so I'm just gonna have to go off verbal descriptions, if you will. So I'll record the random model airport update after the Joe Foss update would come out, and then I'll put that together usually over the weekend or throughout the week, which is how it's been whenever I'm at school or if I'm here at home during the summer. And then I'll just have it uploaded whenever I have it all completed, which is usually always before the Friday they are set to come out at 4:30 p.m. Central Time. So in that case, if that particular weekend I'm not going to be able to come home, and if I do have time, I may pre-record some airport updates ahead of time. So I may record, so let's say I want to have a December airport update come out for Sioux Falls Regional Airport. So for this particular airport that I'm doing right now. But I may not have time to record it on the weekend before it's set to come out. I may pre-record it in November, maybe over like Thanksgiving break or something, just so I have time to put the content together and make sure that you guys have that to watch, so that way it's ready to come out. So that is kind of my tentative plan to handle airport updates if I'm not able to record them during my usual times where I would like to record them. But definitely these plans are going to change as I figure out how college is going to be set up for me and how all the work that I'll have to do and all that stuff and how that will be presented to me. So as such, there may be some significant changes coming, but I think for the moment there won't be anything too drastic right away. So once I figure everything out and I'm able to, figure out how everything's going to be set up in college, then I should have a good idea of how airport updates will be scheduled and how they'll be recorded, when they'll be recorded, and everything in between. But I don't think I'll have room to put an airport in my dorm room, but if any of you guys would be interested to see something like that, if I do have space, let me know and I will definitely consider it. But I think as of right now, I may not have enough room. So that will definitely be something I'll think about doing maybe in the future, but I think as of right now, I'll just kind of keep that in the back of my mind. So basically, just to kind of do a little TLDR, too long didn't read thing, which is what people like to do on Reddit and all that stuff, for especially a long post or something like that. Basically, I'm going to college. Airport updates may change in terms of how they're scheduled and how I will record them and when I'll record them. And anything does happen, communication will be provided on my Instagram page, and I will also try to use the YouTube community tab as best I can to provide those updates as well. So that pretty much wraps up this little rambling session here for that, so just kind of want to provide everybody the information, so that way you knew ahead of time what was going to happen, so that way you guys aren't caught off guard if anything is to change all of a sudden. So with that being said, that is the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Please make sure to check out my Instagram page for any updates on airport updates in the future, and I'll see you guys in the next video.